Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back with another community replay. This one sent in by my friend Juice to Goose in the Minnesota. And he promises that this will be a match that we will love on this channel. Well, it's starting in an American battleship, so you're off to a good start. And I couldn't help but notice that you're bottom tier. But are you really? When the only things that are higher tier than you is a Gross Occur First and a Shimakaze. There's only 2 enemy destroyers on the enemy team, and there's only 1 Gross Occur First. There's no Musashi, there's no Yamato, and there's a lot of hit points on the enemy team. This is a perfect match for an American battleship, because accuracy is king. And Minnesota is the epitome of accuracy by volume. May not be the most accurate battleship in the game, but when you're sending 12 rounds of American armor piercing downrange, good things are gonna happen. So, with all of that being said, I hope you guys are ready. As always, anytime I feature one of your replays, if you are a YouTuber, I will post your YouTube channel down in the link below. If you're wanting to send your best gameplays to me to feature on the channel, send them to me at my email, spartanelite43@gmail.com. It is that simple. All lowercase, no spaces. I made it as simple as possible so that you guys can easily find me. Now, right off the bat, we got a Kronstadt. He's got 2 guns on target. He fires the rear turrets of Justice and Truth, followed by the front turret, or at least one of them, Honor and Glory. He gets the first rounds downrange and he's a little lackluster, but only 6,300 damage, and he took a lot more than that in return. This is what we call not an ideal trade. Anytime you open up to release all 12 guns of a Minnesota, you are begging to be ruined for it. Unlike the Kansas, Minnesota is a much larger target, and it is much easier to spot, meaning you're almost certainly going to be shot. And when you are, much like the Kansas, it's very flat armor. So those shells tend to pen, unless you're extremely close ranges, in which case people shoot your belt. But every other time, any shells coming in from any sort of range, they're gonna pen. That is my biggest downside of this ship, and oh my god, there's a broadside at Wami. He takes a shot at us, and I don't know if that was poor aim. It looked like poor aim, to be honest. But we take a shot back, and I'm expecting good things. 5 penetrations for over 12,000 damage. You'll love to see it. Now, Kronstadt, you can't do this. You're lucky we are reloading, but it won't matter. Because as soon as... Oh my god, somebody else already touched him. This Kronstadt is dead here. I don't care what he thinks he's getting away with. There is no chance that a Minnesota is going to leave a Kronstadt alive. And that's assuming that Minnesota even gets a shot at him here. He fires 2 guns, freaking rail guns, leaves him alive, which is why you always end up using the other guns. Never assume that you're going to kill them. We've seen it how many times on this channel. Never assume that you're going to finish that guy up. Always ensure the kill. Because you know as well as I do, we got to leave him with just enough to get away. I'm glad it's not just me, but as you can see, Juice is getting crossfired pretty heavily here. He's got the Kerr First out here firing HE because, of course, when you're top tier and you're firing 420mm guns, of course you fire HE. Why do battleship players not understand the game? Like, seriously, like, I feel like battleship players are the most memeable of all of the players in the game. Yes, there are bad players in any class, but I feel like battleship players in particular are the least familiar with game mechanics. Like, I just do. I feel like most battleship players just do not understand the basic fundamentals of the game. That being said, he gets rewarded for spamming HE because, of course, he gets the double fire on the next shot, so Juice gets to sit here and barbecue for a little while. Now, the first half of this match has not gone in Juice's favor. He's got 56,000 damage, which, when you look at it, sounds pretty good. Like, we're only 4 minutes into the match, and we got 56,000 damage, but we're double fired. We got over half our health gone. We've used our heals, and we only have 1 heal remaining. This is not ideal, which means he's going to have to play the rest of the game relatively passively. He's not going to be able to be aggressive, but he fires the rear turrets at the Minnesota. And what did we say about a Minnesota? They're damage sponges. The Minnesota is the gross occur first of the American battleship line. It just is. No matter where you shoot this thing, it's going to take penetrations, and that dispersion will make you cry. It's the stuff of nightmares right there. You've got the stuff of legends, which is what happens when I fired my guns of my Montana at that broadside Yamato the other day and deleted it from full health. And then you have that, which was all horizontal, but at a bow-in opponent, and none of the shells really do anything, which is real unfortunate. You love horizontal dispersion when people are broadside. You hate it when they're bow-in. It's just the way it goes. And we're getting a lot of horizontal dispersion right now, which is not ideal. But a couple of shells here and there. Yeah, nope, those all hit the belt. That ain't gonna do nothing, sunshine. Again, 65,000 damage. And remember, I don't watch these back, right? Like, I legitimately don't watch these before oh my god, it's the GK. Of course it is. When you have 105,000 damage available, or hit points available, you do some of the dumbest things on the planet. And let's see if he pays for it here. Because anytime a gross occur first is broadside, everybody takes a shot. And everybody takes a piece. And with the rear turrets gets 27k. That's what we're talking about. And then he gets a little bit less than that because he does get turned out, unfortunately. Again, one of those situations where you wish you had all your guns ready to go so that you get those full salvos. Instead of 27k, you're hitting for 40 plus on that GK with that first salvo. But, just like that, we're up to 96,000, and that's how quickly things can turn around. One dummy can easily give you a huge amount of damage in this game, especially when that dummy starts out with 100,000 hit points. You know, I don't care who you are. If you give it 100,000 hit points, you play like a moron, somebody's going to enjoy you. And in this case, it's everybody gets to enjoy you. But, where one dummy exists, multiples will follow, and here we have an Iwami. What do we know about the Iwami, guys? The Iwami has a Yamato hull. Why does a Yamato not want to go broadside? Because it has one of the easiest to access citadels in the game. Like, it is guaranteed citadels, and at this range, this should be a depth strike. And it is. Down he goes. I called it. I didn't even watch this. That's what I'm talking about. I know my American ships. If there's one thing that you guys can count on me for, it's knowing my American battleships. And just like that, we're up to 156,000 damage. That was a paddling. I know, it's been a long time since I've dropped the paddling on you guys, but we've got a Shimakaze nearby. Fortunately for us, we have all 12 guns ready, and we have a battleship nearby who's spotting Shima and gonna hopefully take some hits on him. But if this Shima comes out, we could easily depth strike him with a good roll of, oh my god, that looks beautiful. Bonk! Okay, the battleship did hit him ahead of time, but even if the battleship hadn't, we would have probably killed that guy there. Now, the battleship should be able to kill the Kronstadt. You can see the battleship thanking for the support from his teammates. Isn't it a beautiful thing when teammates work together? Now, you don't normally want to see this many people running in the same position. Why is that? Because it's a domination match and you've given up all 3 caps up to this point. Which means you're going to have to kill everybody to win this match. Now, GK has had enough of sailing broadside, so now he's angled. You can see that Juice is wanting to stay behind this island. Not exactly sure why. Probably wants to rotate his guns a little bit and have cover to fire his guns at the other guy. You see, smashes the gross occur first again. Now, he should be able to fire over the island and not be detected here. There is an Iwami sneaking around, which doesn't have line of sight yet, but oh my god, we're spotted. That means Destroyer is in the neighborhood. Because the GK shouldn't be able to see us. So if they're spotted and the battleship can't see you, then it's probably the Destroyer, right? Doesn't take a rocket science to figure that one out. Now, we do go dark and there's the torpedoes. Again, these are the clues that the game gives you. You gotta use them. You know you're spotted. You know that nobody else has line of sight on you that you can see, so you know the Destroyer's in the neighborhood. Now, our battleship pulls out, radars the small end, and absolutely wrecks him. The Giuseppe Verdi, for the first time on this channel, has actually done something good. And it wasn't me. Go figure. But, Another broadside Awami. This one at a little bit further range. Going to be a lot harder to Citadel, but not out of the realm of possibility. I would have liked to have seen him aim a little higher at this range. Because if you're trying to go through the belt armor at this range, you're going to struggle. But he does get a lot of penetration, which is still big damage. Just doesn't get the Citadel. If you want a Citadel, a Yami Hall, whether it be Musashi, Yami, Iwami, Izumo, all of them. If you want to Citadel them at range with an American battleship, you don't aim waterline. At range, you want to aim a little high. That way, those shells come in at an angle, and you get that plunging fire through the upper side plating down into the Citadel, rather than trying to go through the belt armor, which is the thickest armor on the ship. And there we have a better shot. Did you see where those shells hit? Yes, he was still aiming roughly in the same location, but because they were coming at it at such an angle, they came in above the belt armor and dropped down into the Citadel. And that's where you hit the Citadel of the Yamas at range, which is why a lot of people don't hit Citadels on Yamatos at range. Now here we've got a Lepanto who's over-angled. This should be Citadel City. He's going just in front of the guns here, and he doesn't get the Citadel, but he lands 7 full penetrations on the Lepanto. Now, he's trying to get behind the island. Unfortunately, he runs into his teammate. The Gross Occurfirst is still out here, which is definitely not ideal. The enemy is trying to win harder here, which is mind-boggling. When you have a 2-to-1 cap advantage and you are winning by 500 points, the last thing you want to do is give the enemy team a chance to win. Now, I don't know if you guys have paid attention. We're up to 240,000 damage. There are 4 minutes left in this match, and there are plenty of targets willing to sacrifice their hit points. So, huge hit into the superstructure of the GK. GK, once again, American and... Oh my god, the Tulsa. Why? Why are you people doing this? I cannot fathom the decision-making here by the enemy team. We get the rear turrets of Justice and Truth, and... wait for it. Down he goes. Shocker. Now, GK is just a matter of time. He's got everybody focusing him. He's got a gigantic superstructure. He's on fire. He's got SAP secondaries inbound. He's got multiple shells coming in. And, of course, we're able to finish him off. Juice is up to 263,000 with 4 kills. And who is left? None other than a Lepanto. Now, Lepanto is a very tanky battleship. Unless, of course, like every other Italian battleship, he decides to just sail broadside to everybody. Why? Why are you broadside? Out of all the things that you could be on this map. First of all, you shouldn't even be engaging. The only way you lose this match right now is if you die. Your entire goal, as he's obviously taken a Citadel there from the friendly battleship that's charging him, your entire goal should have been to stay the f*** away. That's it. That Tulsa should have run. He should have never engaged. That Tulsa runs to the back corner of the map, does his best aircraft carrier impersonation. His team wins, and he's a god-darn hero. Stop trying to win harder. You really don't need to try that hard. I know damage is one of those things that everybody looks for, right? We all love the big games. We love those moments of the tension where any moment things could just go horrifically wrong for you and your team to win the match. Or, in this case, for the enemy team to just throw the match. More often than not, winning harder results in a huge throw and ends up in videos one way or another. And in this case, we get to see it in all its glory. 263,000 damage. And again, we didn't start off this game very well. But, thanks to the red team just deciding that broadside is the best side, it doesn't take long for 12 American guns to stack up the damage. Because you know they're gonna hit the target. Especially with the epic and legendary mods. Now, he doesn't have the oh my god. No. Oh, he fires a little early using the auto-aim over the island. And he's not rewarded for it. He should have held. If he held that shot, aimed it a little bit better here, he probably just goes straight into the superstructure, murders the Lepanto. But you see it, you have a chance. Oh my god, are we gonna die? Thank God it's a freaking Italian battleship. That is an Italian secondary build battleship accuracy if I've ever seen it. But 5 seconds, 4 seconds, less than 5,000 hit, actually about 6, nope, now he's less than 5,000 hit points. Fire the whole thing! Superstructure, ho, and bonk, and we get the Kraken! So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. This was a crazy game. I'm really excited. Thank you, Juice, for sending it in. As always, I will leave a link to his channel down in the description below. Make sure you head over to his channel. Drop him some love. 275,000 damage. Confederate, Kraken, Dreadnought, High Cow, Death Strike. All of the things. And he got an assist cap thrown in there. And what's he get? 3,600 base XP. That is absolutely satisfying and a ridiculous game in a battleship. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.